I know we have hit an insane number of subscribers. Like, we're at 3,400 at the time of this recording, and I am so blown away by the sheer number of you that are willing to follow and take time out of your day. Time is a resource that is very limited and it's very finite, and the fact that you're choosing to spend it with me here listening to me talk about books is so incredible. Hi folks, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Nikita, and on this channel we prioritize BIPOC, especially South Asian stories, to be more inclusive with our reading. And today I'm going to be talking about a few books that I have to finish by the end of the year. Now, I know it looks like I'm filming at night, but it's literally 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It's noon right now. It's the gloomiest day today that there could be, so I apologize for the lighting, but the weather is the weather and we can't do too much about it. But hopefully, maybe, I don't think the sun is going to come out today, but hopefully it's going to get a little bit lighter and brighter as we film this. Okay, so we are at the end of 2023. It's mid-November at the time of recording this, and I have had probably one of the best reading years of my life. And so it was really, really hard to pick out like 9 or 10 books that I want to read before December 31st, because I've really enjoyed a lot of the stuff that I've read this year, and I have a long list of books that I would like to get through. So I narrowed it down. Let's see, you can hold me to it in the new year to check back in January to see if I actually did read all of these. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But let's go through the books that I really want to finish before the end of this year. Okay, first up, I really want to read All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. This is a YA. It's been on my list for a really long time, but it seems like a more, I guess, like intense YA, and I enjoy those. Not so much like the love YAs, but I enjoy stuff like this. But I don't know too much about it, but I think this is a dual timeline that switches between Pakistan and California now. And it's about these two like best friends. Oh, I think it like starts off with one of the characters' parents who are like a young couple in Pakistan like a few years ago, and they have all these hopes and dreams for themselves, but then they decide to move to the US to open a motel. And I imagine this is going to talk about how they had to sacrifice a lot of their dreams and hopes. And then we fast forward to now, where the children of those parents are struggling with keeping the motel going. It sounds really mundane when I describe it like that, but I've heard really good things about this book in the sense that it focuses a lot about like what it means to not fit in. There's a lot of cultural identity stuff, racialized folks, and that to me at least is like one of the themes that I don't see often in YA. So this excited me, that's why I picked it up. So this is a book that I'm definitely going to be checking out. After that, I have book number 3 in my beloved Wasim Khan series, which is A Strange Disappearance of a Bollywood Star. If you've been here for some time, you've certainly heard me talk about this series. This is a lovely, cozy mystery series that's set in Mumbai in India, and it follows a retired inspector who solves local crimes with his little baby elephant. So it's just been like such an unsuspecting, lovely series. I've enjoyed it, and this is book 3. This, like it sounds, a Bollywood star goes missing, and it's up to Inspector Chopra and Ganesh's baby elephant to solve like what's going on. I am particularly excited for this because I have not read many mysteries that are set or that have the setting of like the film industry or like Hollywood, Bollywood, like glitz and glamour. So I am excited for this setting. I'm looking forward to it. Up next, I have The Fraud Squad by Kyla Zhao. This has been on my TBR card for a really, really long time, and I'm excited to finally get to this. I did start it today, actually. I am about 38 pages in. It's fun so far. It seems like it's not wow. I'm not wowed by it, but it's nice. It's fun. It's basically about this one character, Samantha Song. She is in Singapore. She is just this, like average girl who comes from really humble roots and comes from like a lower socioeconomic status, but she has really, really big aspirations to fit into like the high society of Singapore. And so she decides to pull a fraud and like really like fraud her way into being a socialite. That's how I understand it. And then she has a couple friends too that help her with that. So it's gonna be fun. I have not read a Singapore setting book since Crazy Rich Asians, and I really enjoyed that series, or at least the first couple books. I couldn't get to the third one, so I'm looking forward to that. It does remind me a little bit of Crazy Rich Asians, but with like with a twist. So I will report back. I haven't heard many people talk about this. I did see this had like a really big display at my bookstore, and so it seems like there was hype around this, but it is a debut author. It's a debut novel. So I'm excited. Now we'll report back because sounds like a promising and intriguing concept. After that, I have 3 Holidays and a Wedding. 2 authors here. We have Uzma Jalaluddin and Marissa Stapley. These are both Canadian women, and so it's a Canadian book, and I am about halfway through this. I don't know if you can tell, but I had to put this down because I was gonna fly through it, and I would like for this to not be over so soon. This is very much cozy holiday vibes, and I would like to have this story in December as well. So I'm putting a pause on this because I really enjoyed it, and I want to read this when there's like a little bit snow outside. But this is my first Uzma Jalaluddin and my first Marissa Stapley book. I have heard a lot about both of these women, and I've heard a lot of good things about their books, but I've just like never picked anything up. And this is a new release. This only came out a month ago, and it's nice. It's exactly what it sounds like, 3 Holidays and a Wedding. So the setting is in a small town in Canada during the month of December, and it's set around this like 1 year when in that month of December all 3 holidays of like the month of Ramadan and Hanukkah and Christmas all happen at the same time. So it follows a number of characters, but it's 2 main characters. There's Anna and then there's Miriam, and I'm not gonna say much because it's really nice, but basically like there's a snowstorm and they find themselves stranded and all these families come together, and I'm halfway through and I really enjoyed it. It does have obviously romance in it like any cozy holiday book, but so far there isn't too much of a focus on the romance. It's just been like pleasantly surprising in terms of like the female characters that we're seeing. They're not one-dimensional women, because often when you have such a strong cultural representation with a protagonist in a book, it can just seem very just like one-dimensional. And like a flat cultural identity, if you know what I mean. But this doesn't feel like that. So I am excited to finish this. I really hope that the second half is as nice as the first half. Up next is another book that I have started, and I have started it for a couple of weeks, or at least a week now, and I will be finishing it before the end of the year. This is Evil Eye by Itaf Room. I am probably mispronouncing that. Please correct me in the comments. But this is a second book from this author. The first one is A Woman is No Man, and I finished that last month, and it was so good. This is a Palestinian American female author, and she writes about Palestinian American folks, and her first book was great. This one is about a young woman living in like North Carolina, and it like follows like her and how she's married to this guy. She has a couple of daughters, and she's really kind of balancing being a good mom with having a career of her own, while also like figuring out like her own cultural identity. And there's a big focus on how our previous like repressed traumas can show up and can impact us in the present day. I am about halfway through because of some of like the more mature themes in this book, and obviously keeping in mind like the current political situation. I am taking my time with this book, so I'm definitely not flying through this one. The writing is great. I have realized how happy I am to have discovered this author. I really like her work. She has her own bookstore. She's super cool. She has her own bookstore in the States. And if I ever get a chance to go, I think she is in, yeah, she also lives in North Carolina. If I ever get a chance to go, I definitely gonna want to go visit her bookstore. But I like this book. I don't like it as much as I liked her first one because I'm halfway through and the pacing of it just feels a little bit slower. But still, it's such a lovely story of our main character. She's super relatable if you're a woman of color, especially someone with like dual cultural identities. So perhaps you are in a different country of like your culture of origin. You would find her very relatable. And again, like she's not like one dimensional. There's a lot of character and a lot of depth to this story, which is why I personally need a little bit more time reading it. And also the cover is so beautiful, like it really drew me to this book. It's beautiful, and the concept of the evil eye is so prominent in South Asian communities and I guess Arab communities. I had no idea. And so it's really kind of focused around you catching the evil eye and your life being jinxed. So I'm not going to say more, but I am enjoying this and I'm looking forward to completing it. Just I need to go at my own pace. Okay, and the last heavy book that I have for the season is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This is embarrassing, but this book has been with me for years. I am not exaggerating when I say that. It's been on my bookshelf for years and I have heard such incredible things about it. But because this has like a World War II setting, I've just never felt called to that setting. I am a big history buff. I love reading history, European history in particular. I find it very fascinating. I love watching documentaries on World War I, World War II. But reading a book in that setting, I don't know. It's just like never felt appealing to me. So I've put this off for such a long time. But because the Netflix show is now out and it's doing so well, I really, really want to read this before I watch the show. So I'm going to pick it up. And I don't think I'm going to be disappointed. If you've read this, please let me know if this lives up to the hype. I really, really hope it does. But this has won a lot of awards. So it certainly should. All I really know about this is that it has two main characters. We have a young French girl, and then we have a German orphan during World War II. The French girl is blind. The German orphan finds his way like into like intelligence department, I guess, during the war. And I'm assuming they like come together, not in like perhaps like a romantic way, but come together. They somehow find their way to each other, not necessarily in a romantic sense, but I think they work together in a way to help positively impact the war. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what I understand of it. That's all I want to know about it. I don't want to know more. This is a huge book. This is like more than 500 pages. So I really enjoy historical fiction though, and I always wish historical fictions were longer. So I'm sure I'll still finish it. I'll still go through it. I don't know how long I'm going to take. But if you've read this, like, let me know your thoughts and if you enjoyed it. And if you think I would, because by now a lot of you know the kind of books that I enjoy. Okay, so a number of these books on this list are definitely heavier in their themes and topics. So I have a couple fun, light reads to get me through. First up, if you've been here for some time, you know Tessa Bailey is a guilty pleasure of mine, so I grabbed her new book, Wreck the Halls. It came out for this holiday season. I'm reading it for my book club. I have a personal book club with a few girlfriends, and I am excited for this. I have come to really enjoy Tessa Bailey's rom-coms. Like, she writes this really fun, fun, no need to use your brain kind of romances that are just like so compulsive, and she has some really lovable characters. Her female protagonists especially, like I find them really lovable. So I'm excited for this. I don't know too much about it. I just know that the main characters, they're kids of these two like band members, like who had a band, forever ago, and they're working to reunite the band, and that's how they're gonna fall in love. That's what I'm understanding. And it's a holiday setting. It's Christmas time. I mean, you can't go wrong. Another guilty pleasure of mine is Ali Hazelwood. I love all of her STEMnist books. So I picked up her recent Check and Mate. This is her first YA book. I am excited about it. You know, I don't love YA, but I trust Ali Hazelwood with my eyes closed, so I'm looking forward to it. And this is about, you know, a girl who is a chess player. And so we've seen with Ali Hazelwood, she's had like physicists and scientists and you know, space scientists. She's got all sorts of STEM women, but we haven't seen like a chess setting yet, and I think this could be really good. I really enjoyed that show on Netflix, Queen's Gambit. That was incredible, and I had no idea that I would enjoy a chess setting so much. I just found it so intriguing. I don't play chess. I wish I was good at it. I would love to learn, but that setting, it just sounds like really phenomenal. And I love her protagonists. Like, they're smart, kick-ass, intelligent women that are super relatable. I'm excited about this. This is going to be like a nice, fun palate cleanser. And lastly, I love Sophie Kinsella. I haven't read much of the Shopaholic series, I'll be honest, but a lot of her other stuff that I have read, I really enjoyed. So I had to get my hands on her new book, The Burnout. I've heard quite a bit about it. It's sadly hardback. I wish it was in paperback, but it is what it is. But I am looking forward to it. I really enjoy her writing. And this one in particular feels like really relatable because it's about like our female character who is just like a woman, young woman trying to do it all, and then she's burnt out. And that's all I know. And nobody does like fun, quirky, complicated female leads like Sophie Kinsella. I think she's so good at her art, and I'm looking forward to this. I did read one of her other books earlier last month. I think, it was called I Got Your Number. I'll be honest, I didn't love that one because I just felt like too dragged out. So I really hope I don't feel that way with this one because I have been looking forward to it. So that's 9 books in total that I'm hoping to finish before the year ends. Knowing me, I'll round it up to a 10. I'm leaving like a buffer room, like one spot open for any new releases that catch my eye between now and December 31st, or, you know, I might just like reread a classic, or sometimes I reread Harry Potter around this time of the year, or I might decide to pick up one of the ACOTAR books for my reread. So I don't know what the 10th book is going to be, but this is 9 for now. I do have my eye on this new Regency era mystery that's come out. I think it's called Think Like a Lady, Act Like a Lord. I love Regency era anything. Mysteries, rom-coms, they're a lot of fun. So I might pick that one up. I'm not sure. I'll see how I feel. But let me know if you've read any of these, or if you are going to be reading any of these. And again, you know, it doesn't matter how many books you read, don't read, it doesn't really say anything about you, because at the end of the day, it's not about how many books that we get to, it's about how many books get to us. And that's what's really important. So please don't feel when you see my stack that you have to read more before the year is over. This is certainly one of my biggest ways to practice self-care, and I really enjoy making time for books more than I do for a lot of other things in my life. So I hope that comes through in my videos. Thanks so much for being here. I know we have hit an insane number of subscribers. Like, we're at 3,400 at the time of this recording, and I am so blown away by the sheer number of you that are willing to follow and take time out of your day. Time is a resource that is very limited and it's very finite, and the fact that you're choosing to spend it with me here listening to me talk about books is so incredible. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for being here. If you're someone who watches, likes, comments, or subscribes, I really value your presence here, and I'm looking forward to growing this community of appreciation for BIPOC stories more in the new year. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. I will see you in my next video.